So, Artemis Fowl I has gone missing in the Arctic. His son, Artemis Fowl II, is trying to finance expeditions to go to the Arctic to find his father. Now, fortunately, the Fowls are a long line of criminal geniuses, so Artemis Fowl II uses his massive intellect and criminal contacts to try and do this. Now, he has discovered the existence of fairies via a sprite in Ho Chi Minh City in Vietnam.
What's Ho Chi?
Ho Chi Minh City in Vietnam. There was a fairy in Ho Chi Minh City, and he went there and met the fairy, and the fairy gave him a magic book. Anyway, moving on. So he works out how to kidnap a fairy, namely Captain Holly Short of the Recon. He brings her back to his house, and the fairy police set up a time stop around the house and use a variety of different methods to try and get in, including a troll and a dwarf and lots of other things. Second book, Artemis Fowl and the Arctic Incident. So, Artemis Fowl has the gold from the previous book and receives a message from the Russian mafia that they have his father. Now, he is going to go to them and try and arrange a hostage negotiation, but it turns out that the Russian mafia have a slight tendency to kill the people they're negotiating and just take the gold anyway. At exactly the same time, underground, with the fairies, there is a goblin rebellion going on. The goblins are leading a rebellion against the fairy government. Captain Holly Short is in the middle of this. It transpires that the pixie Opal Kenobi is... Kenobi? Yes, the Kenobi is in charge of this rebellion, and Artemis is enlisted to try and stop it. Suffice to say, they do stop it by reprogramming all of Opal Kenobi's equipment and leaking the information that she's going to betray the goblins to the goblins. So that's all fine. After which they go to the Arctic to... In Book 3, Artemis Fowl and the Eternity Code, Artemis Fowl has developed a piece of machinery from fairy technology called the Sea Cube, which can hack any kind of machine in the world. It's very, very powerful. He is showing it to the... No, go away! to the people, to John Spiro, a millionaire who has slightly dodgy relations with the American mafia, so that's fun. And he does what happens. Yes, so Butler, who is Artemis Fowl's butler and guardian and bodyguard person, gets shot, but then comes back alive because of fairy magic, and it's all very complicated. Artemis Fowl gets kidnapped and has to try and has to break the Eternity Code on his Sea Cube for John Spiro, otherwise he will be killed. But then he manages to trap John Spiro in a big robbery after a fake SAS raid, and it's all very complicated. And it has a really awesome speech at the end where Artemis says, "You're right, Artemis is normally a female name, but I am Artemis, the hunter elf." For goodness sake. Okay. Book 4. So, at the end of the previous book, as you know, he got his mind wiped. I didn't mention that, did I? Damn. Okay, right. Well, okay. What happens is this book begins with Opal Kenobi breaking out of jail, involving a clone and stuff, and it's complicated. But there's a clone, and she switches places with a clone. And it's all very complicated. But she escapes, and so she arranges for Captain Holly Short and her boss to end up in a tunnel together, and to make it look like Captain Holly Short has killed Julius Root, her boss. And Holly has to go on the run, meet Artemis Fowl, who's had his mind wiped, who's attacked by Opal Kenobi's minions, and then they both recover their Artemis Fowl and his butler both recover their memories, and what happens next? Yes, I remember. And oh yes, and they have to go and try and defeat Opal Kenobi. What's her plan this time? Hang on. Oh yes, she kidnaps them and drops them in a place which is bad, which is full of trolls, and then she sends a probe down into the ground to try and expose the people starting bother. Artemis Fowl and the Lost Colony. Okay, so Artemis Fowl is trying to predict where demons are appearing. They are leaking through from their island, which has been sent out into limbo many years ago. Over the course of this, he encounters another female genius named Minerva, who's also trying to find these demons. Eventually, the demons begin to leak through. One of the demons gets captured, number 1, a warlock. They have to go and find was that thing? Is that bad? And okay, right. So they have to go and try and rescue him from Minerva. However, Minerva is kidnapped by her evil bodyguard person, and they have to swap demons. Plus, on the demonic plane, there is an evil warlock demon person named Abbott, who's going to lead the demons into a war against humanity. So that's always nice. And it all culminates in the demon dimension as it's breaking down, and Artemis pulling some very clever time travel shenanigans, shooting somebody before they can kill people is very complicated. And so, book 6.
Yeah.
6, book 6. Okay, Artemis Fowl and the Time Paradox. Artemis Fowl's mother becomes ill with a special magically sort of controlled disease, a disease spread through magic, and discovers that the only cure to it is the blood of a lemur, which Artemis Fowl sold to a group of people who killed it when he was 10 years old. Whoops! So he has to travel back in time using magic to fight his 10-year-old self to get the lemur back from the extinctionists. However, it turns out that the extinctionists are being controlled by Opal Kenobi, but the young Opal Kenobi from before she tried to destroy the world with the Goblin Rebellion. So they have a battle back in the past, then they come forwards back into the future, where they have a battle there. The young Opal Kenobi escapes, but Artemis Fowl manages to cure his mother. Well, his mother wasn't actually ill in the first place, it's complicated, and then it's all fun. Help! Wait. Yes, I remember what happens. So, I think I've explained most of it. Oh, wow. In the Atlantis complex, Artemis Fowl develops a mental disorder caused by fairies and magic, experimenting with magic, called the Atlantis complex, which causes him to split into two halves. His Artemis personality, which still retains some ruthlessness but is becoming nicer, and a completely nice but completely stupid personality named Orion, who declares that he is in love with Holly, and that Foley, a centaur, is his noble steed, repeatedly. He's very strange. And so they have to fight Julius Root, the main character from the previous 3 books, his evil brother, who has escaped from jail after crashing a probe into Atlantis and destroying Atlantis again. And so stuff happened. What happened? Yes, he escaped, and then he was going to, use magic and destroy the Atlantis complex for some reason, and use magic to cure his old human wife, to make her young again. And in the end, he and his wife sacrifice themselves to save her. Oh, come on. Oh god, this is the one I have to do in mine.
You should definitely question him here.
Traffic warning? Blaming? Fighting? War? Fighting? War? Rebellion? Deviousness? Evil leprechaun? Leprechaun? Evil?
Okay. Artemis Fowl and the Last Guardian. I won't explain, because I explained via mime, and surely that should have been enough. It was very clear. No, it wasn't. But I'm going to pretend it was. So that was fun. This was me being stupid in front of a camera for 8 minutes. I hope you enjoyed it, you evil, evil people. God, I'm never doing that. I'm never doing that again. So, things I forgot to mention. End of book 1, end of book 2, yeah, essentially the ends of all of the books, because I ended up just kind of speaking complete nonsense for most of that, and just trying to fit in as much as I could. Character development, the fact that Artemis starts out as a very clear anti-hero who kidnaps people, and ends the book willing to sacrifice himself for the fate of the world. And what else? Oh yes, the fact that he got his father back. The fact that he sacrifices himself at the end of the last book, spoiler. Essentially this whole thing is spoilers, so yeah. She knew what she was signing up to, don't feel sorry for her. what else did I forget to mention apart from everything? Well, the fact that Opal Kenobi's clone is used to help plays a very important part in the last Guardian, which is the 8th Artemis Fowl book. No, I'm not even going to touch that because I mined it and I don't actually think anything from that came across.
It'd be hard to do clone, I think. Clone is tricky. But that could easily be twins.
Yes. Yeah. Do you have any questions of things which stood out as not making any sense other than the all of it?
No, just all of it.
Yeah, okay, I thought so. Yes, do you feel tempted to go and read the books now?
Yeah.
Yeah, well that's good. I succeeded in something. I succeeded in part of my mission. But yeah, but there was less screaming than I anticipated because I expecting to go well no I did. There was as much screaming as I anticipated. So that was fun.